I am shocked at the inability of our leadership and our writers, our authors, our pundits to come out in defense of free speech in this issue, because we all know that it's speech that we do not necessarily like. Sometimes it is speech that is abhorrent. That would be the case here. However, even the White House, Mitt Romney came out and they said that they failed to lead. He said that right away. Maybe some of us thought it was a little early. I think now it is absolutely clear they're failing to lead. Let's look at what Jay Carney said earlier today.
The unrest we've seen around the region has been in reaction to a video that many Muslims find offensive. And while the violence is reprehensible and unjustified, it is not a reaction to the 9/11 anniversary that we know of or to U.S. policy.
Can I just say, Buck, when we had this topic presented to us, and as Amy read earlier, the blame from Washington is being placed squarely on the shoulders of this filmmaker, I said, that's not true. Surely, that cannot be true, until I saw that Jay Carney clip, which is absolutely stunning.
Abhorrent. Abhorrent. I mean, it's a coincidence that this happened on 9/11, that coordinated protests all across the Middle East are breaking out on a day of national mourning for us. It had to do with this film that nobody had seen. That's nonsense. But here, guys, really quickly, this is intellectual blackmail on a massive and international scale. I cannot believe there are not more people coming out against this and saying that this is disgraceful, that they're attacking. They're not even just attacking U.S. embassies, which in and of itself is disgusting. They're attacking now just embassies of anything that's Western because of a film that has nothing to do with the United States government. What do moderates in these countries think when we stand here and we placate them? We apologize. We're so worried about this. I mean, this is absolutely the time to come out and say, we don't care what you think about this. You should not be attacking our embassies.
Buck, I looked at the TikTok last night of the Libya attack, and that it looks like the attackers were coordinated, that they were militarized, that they were intending to assassinate our U.S. ambassador, and they were using protests against this film as cover. And then as I looked at our Secretary of State's own statement, I wonder if our own government isn't using this film as cover for the failings of our government to protect our embassies, particularly on 9/11, and with a coordinated attack that now the London Independent says that we had at least 48 hours of warning that our embassies were going to be under attack. So I wonder if this isn't a smokescreen that our own government is using.
It's not about the movie as a terrorist. It's not about the movie.
Responsibility.
That is the point I was going to make. This is a coordinated effort by our mainstream media to take away from the responsibility of the failure of this administration to do what they're supposed to do. We have a president who is the campaigner-in-chief. He's not the commander-in-chief, evidenced by the way he reacted to this. I mean, he slept that night soundly as our embassies were coming under attack, and then he flies off to Las Vegas for a fundraiser after he gives this statement where there was still a pandering type of apology inside that
Where's the
statement.
grandiose rhetoric? Where's him coming out and defending American principles?
Because
saying,
he doesn't feel this way. This should be evident as to how he feels about. It's more important to be sensitive to the needs of radicals over on the other side.
These are the Salafists. We're not talking about a billion Muslims. We're talking about the minority.
Now you're hitting on the right point. I'm afraid you give the opposition too much credit when you indict it as a possible conspiracy to cover up problems within the administration. What this is, you called it.
We heard the Secretary of State.
You called it a smoke.
Attack the film instead of attacking the attacker.
Let me tell you this. What I'm telling you, that's not a conspiracy. You called it a smokescreen. It's been a perfect one because it smokes out those that value sensitivity over liberty. That's what's amazing here. It's from the pundit class and from those in government that these people aren't true defenders of civil liberties. They're not true defenders of free speech. What they are is defenders of their own opinion. And their own opinion whim to the mob, right? So if the mob dictates this is too sensitive and too outrageous, well, then we'll go with that. So my opinion
But, Will, there are
paramount.
serious questions about the fact that lists of Libyans who cooperated with Americans have been stolen from the Libyan embassy, and those people are now potentially under threat and could be killed by these radicals.
This is a disaster, Amy, and you're right.
And for our government to be discussing a film instead of the serious breach of security,
it's a
disaster.
The security breach, unfortunately, has already happened. They're going to review this. But Matt, to everyone's point here, the administration, I want a barn burner of a speech here saying, who do these people think they are in these foreign countries to tell us how to enforce American laws, to violate core American principles because of offense? How about the offense of rioting on 9/11? How about, if they want to make this a religious issue, video of Daniel Pearl's head? What about all the churches that have been firebombed in Nigeria over the past year? Churches desecrated in Pakistan.
But does this surprise you? because our president doesn't have a backbone. Our government doesn't have a backbone. This is, imagine a playground, and you're kind of the big bully. That's the United States. We're still the big bully. And the little guys keep coming in and going at you, but you never come back at them. You don't stand up for yourself. We're not standing up for ourselves as a country. As you mentioned, somebody's head getting cut off. That's okay. This is a film that nobody at this table, and probably 99% Americans, 0.9% Americans, don't believe in, but everybody views that as our view.
Have you watched
Our country needs to stand up and say,
exactly.
It's
idiotic, but it's free speech. And we talk a lot about the founding here. Thomas Jefferson had some words, I think, that would be nice to remind our administration of at this point in time. It was that I would rather be exposed to the inconveniences attending too much liberty than to those attending too small a degree of it. If we're going to err on the side of this issue, if we're going to balance rights, as a lot in the chattering classes are talking about this, we balance them squarely on the side of liberty, not on some perceived offense all around the world that has nothing to do with the United States government, the United States people. As Amy, you point out, this is moronic. It's a couple of individuals who have tried to be insightful, and by the way, they've succeeded in doing that. And I just cannot believe that there's not an opportunity here for the United States to stand up for its values.